Welcome to the Black Educated Tea podcast where we have conversations on how Black women navigate through life and education. I'm your host, Makeda Marie. I'm a life coach and strategic consultant. In this safe space and in this podcast, we have conversations on how we balance and navigate through life, education, corporate America, entrepreneurship, motherhood, love, just so many topics. It's just endless. Please join us for the Black Educated Tea podcast so you can be a part of these magnificent conversations. Welcome to the Black Educated Tea podcast. I'm your host, Makeda Marie, and today's topic is Unbothered. But it's always before we get into the tea, let's get into the tea. So today I am actually drinking I guess you can say my Halo tea from Kai Tea House. I have been drinking this tea for years. She has several different teas. This one is caffeine free, and the ingredients include where it has hibiscus, pineapple, spearmint, and ginger. I absolutely love her teas, and it's probably been like at least 2-3 years that I've been purchasing her teas now. It's called the Kai Tea House. I really, really love it. So that is what I'm drinking today. It's a really good sweet tea. I don't add anything to it. I mean, you can add agave, you can add honey to it. I usually don't add anything to it because it is just a really good tea the way it is. So that is what I am drinking today. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. Now, this is going to be a really short video because I am unbothered. So that is the topic of discussion today. We're talking about being unbothered. And what really made me think of this topic, I watched a movie, Don't Look Up. I believe that's what it is, with Leonardo DiCaprio in it, Jennifer Lawrence. There's a lot of different Tyler Perry's in it. It's a really good movie. It's supposed to be like a comedy type movie, but it is really provoking. For me, it was. I mean, it was definitely funny, but it was like everybody was so unbothered with what was going on. So the basis of the movie is there's a comet that's coming to destroy the world. But people are unbothered by the comet, and they're bothered by the distractions from social media and, hashtags, and they're just so distracted and bothered about things that do not matter. And they're unbothered with this comet that's coming to destroy the world. And so when I watched that movie, it had its funny moments. But for me, it was like, oh my God, we are so distracted by things that do not matter at all. We get so focused on entertainment and things that are not reality that we lose focus on what is reality. And so, it's a really good movie. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it because, like I said, it has its funny moments. But, and for me, there was one scene in the movie when they were all just kind of sitting out listening to the president as she was speaking, which was Meryl Streep as well, of course, really good actress. So they're all sitting out and she's doing her speech. And, they had this whole hashtag, don't look up, don't look up, don't look up. Because as you look up, you see the comet is like right there. Literally, it's like right there. So they're outside. She's doing this speech. And this one guy, he just stops in the middle of his tracks. And he happens to look up. And when he looks up, he sees the comet. And he's like, they've been lying to us the whole time. And all we had to do was look up. And I laughed so hard. But as I laughed, I just shook my head. Because I'm like, it was literally right in front of their eyes. But they were too distracted and they were too busy listening and being influenced by others just to not even look up. And you looked up in the sky, it was right there. And it happens to so many of us. Literally, things are right in front of us, but we are so bothered and we're so distracted by other things we cannot even see what's right in front of us. Because we have social media, entertainers, and family and friends. We have so many people around us that is influencing us to not look up, to not look down, or whatever the case is, and we just don't. And a lot of these things are right in front of us. So just to say, to get back to the topic of being unbothered, I am at a point in my life, I am unbothered by things that do not serve a purpose for me. I would say I'm trying to get to that point. it's a difficult task. It's a difficult journey, I will say. When you're trying to get to that stage of being unbothered. I am really trying to get to a point in my life that I'm unbothered. I do pretty damn good, I will say, when it comes to being unbothered by things. I think I do a really good job at it. But I still need more practice, as we all do, because there are some things, we all have triggers and, things that really just rake at our skin. But I do really good at being unbothered by things because I will tune something out, someone out, or whatever the case is if I just know that it's not serving me a purpose at all. I can tune out a whole conversation, a couple of seconds into that conversation and it's not going anywhere. It's not benefiting me, which is not the way to go. Don't do people like that. Don't do people like that. But I'm not going to say I'm the queen of unbothered, but I have done a really good job at being unbothered. And I'm still working on growing that even more because I have to in order for my stability, for my mental health, for my well-being. I have to learn how to just be unbothered by things that absolutely serve no purpose for me. Whether it's people, places, things, whatever it may be. I have to be unbothered by it. And then you have to have your boundaries. You really do. Because I can't go through life and be unbothered by any and everything. That's just not how it works. Something is going to trigger me. Something is going to set me off. Or, and I'm going to be bothered by something. We all are going to be bothered. We're all going to be distracted. But let's start choosing, those things. And stop bothering yourself to things that have absolutely nothing to do with you. Stop putting yourself in other people's business and their lives and focus on your own. And I think that's, when it comes to social media and when it comes to entertainers, sometimes we get so bottled and focused on their life. And we don't know these people. We don't know them. That's like the whole Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan situation. Everybody has an opinion. Of course, you are entitled to your opinion. But most of us that's giving us our opinions on their relationship and why they broke up, it was her fault, it was his fault. We have absolutely no idea what actually happened in their home. We have no clue whatsoever. So, yeah, it is entertaining for a moment, but please let's snap back into reality at some point and realize you don't know these people. You don't know what's going on in their household, in their lives, or, the people that surround you. You have no clue what's going on. Focus on your household and your life. Let it be entertaining for only a couple of seconds and move on and focus on what's happening in your life. We become too consumed in others. And we have absolutely no control over somebody else's household, somebody else's life. So you know what you can do? You can put that focus into yourself. Put it back into yourself because you have no control over what somebody else does. So stop putting that energy, stop bothering yourself and putting your energy into trying to make somebody else better. Or, I always say I can give people some of the best advice. I'll give somebody the shirt off my back literally if I can. I am all about helping people, but I have to have my boundaries. Because I am not responsible for somebody else's healing. I am not responsible for somebody else's growth, whether it's, mentally, financially, whatever it is. I can assist and I will help if you ask me for that help, but it is not my whole responsibility to make you a better person or to heal you. Just like no one else can heal me. That is my responsibility. So let's start being unbothered about things we cannot control. Let's just start because I ain't gonna lie, I have. I have definitely been unbothered about things I cannot control. That was one of my biggest problems or one of my biggest issues. And I knew it for years, and it was pointed out to me. And I think one day it just hit me smack over the head and I realized I have control issues. And so that's where the whole unbothered thing kind of come into play for me. I have to let go of that control. I have to learn how to be unbothered by it. I cannot control any and everything. And so me letting go, relinquishing that control is also me being unbothered. I suggest you all practice it as well. Practice being unbothered by things. And you will be surprised how peaceful and how grounded you are when you start being unbothered and just letting go of things that no longer serve you a purpose, things that you have absolutely no control over. And start focusing on the things that you do have control over, which is you. You only have control over you. You do not have control over anything else, anybody else. So focus on you. Be of support to others. Be of assistance to others. I always say that our purpose here is to help each other. Amongst other as well. We all have, different purposes in life. But one of our purposes is to help each other. So, stay humble, help each other, but focus on what's most important, which is you. Because you are no good to no one else if you are not focusing on yourself. If you're so bothered by everybody else's problems and their responsibilities, there is no way you can focus on yourself. So let's learn how to be unbothered. Because I'm going to continue to learn how to be unbothered, and I'm only going to be bothered by the thing that serves me purpose, or even if I am bothered by things that don't serve a purpose for me, I still, I want to be of help to anybody that I can be. But I'm learning to be unbothered to, preserve my peace, my tranquility, my well-being. And I want you all to do the same. Give me techniques, give me comments on how you just shut out things and you become just unbothered. I would love to know what are some of the techniques and things that you practice just to be unbothered by all the chaos and all the distractions and all the things that surround us, Because it's going to always be that way. There's going to always be distractions. There's going to always be things that keep our minds occupied. So how do you get to that place of where you're just like, look, I'm unbothered by it because I'm focusing on my peace and I'm focusing on what I have going right now in my household with my family and friends, whatever the case may be. So I would love to just hear your comments, your thoughts, and, how do you become unbothered in your life? And as always, this is the Black Educated Tea Podcast.